from the Bay Area. Completely unhinged, unfiltered, real, no notes, just me and you and my hand. Okay, get that out of the way. Hey, folks, Rich Lieberman After Dark. It is Tuesday evening on the beautiful West Coast in the lovely state of California, emanating live from the once cosmopolitan Bay Area, a little town that used to be a big city and is no longer any of the above or what have you. Don't get me going. I might start screaming and doing a YouTube. Welcome to YouTube, by the way. And YouTube has me on the air, and we're the fastest growing. You like how I use we're? I'm in the third person. Woo. People that want to feel important and they refer to themselves in the third person, right? So it makes them look big and some of them are quite talented and very, very cool and unassuming and entertaining, quite frankly. But they say we or we're instead of me or I. All right, enough of that. We are live on a Tuesday. I've said that a couple of times now, as if I was taped, right? Hey, I shaved today. Rich is shaving. And women will understand this. Men already kind of get it. Women have to shave, right? It would look kind of weird if you had a kind of a mustache or something. I know women hardly get hair up here. It's usually on their arms, around here, other places, which I will not talk about. Men, it really is a pain in the ass to shave. Now, I'm not going to get into this. Is not going to be a show about, hygiene and shaving versus not shaving. So, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. And I'm totally going to be honest because most people wouldn't be on, mostly men. It's a pain in the ass to shave. And a lot of men, they simply won't say that and they'll come on and do whatever they're doing. I know some jobs you have to shave, right? I'm not going to go into it. You know what I'm talking about. But I just, somebody told me, God, you look cool when you kind of have that 5 o'clock shadow look and all that. So before I get back to that story, we're live. It's a Tuesday night. I'm on a little early. I preempted my own self and was going to go on at 8 o'clock. And of course, Pacific time zone where I'm broadcasting from. And of course, 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock on the East Coast. And I have a lot of people that used to live in the Bay Area that got the hell out. And it's changed. I'll talk about that too pretty soon. It's changed. The climate is different. I'm not talking about the weather. I'm talking about everything. And it's the shits. And it's not just homeless. It's everything. It's fucked up. It's overtaxed. It's expensive. There's areas where you used to be able to live and have a decent life. And it wouldn't cost you, an arm and a leg. Today I went and had breakfast, right? And breakfasts are now like $25. When you leave a tip and all that. Fuck, remember what eggs? And I know eggs have gone up in price. It's everybody's rallying cry. But every fucking thing. And I realize food is pretty much universally high. But I had a breakfast today. It was like a basic eggs, little rye toast, coffee, which I could have done without. I like coffee. It's my vodka, so to speak. Isn't that a great guide? Coffee is my vodka, brought to you by the Ad Council. It was like $25. Now, granted, it's a good breakfast and all that, but everything costs a living, food and gas. And they got us by the balls, folks. You know that with the gas and all that. Excuse me, but this is my habit, and I should have had the water over here, but I didn't want to spill, and so. Thank you, because Without that shit, I'm as good as gone. So, what was I talking about? Oh, the cost of living and all that. Yeah. So, and by the way, these are not like, pretentiousness wearing glasses and all that. You get older and inevitably you're farsighted, nearsighted, whatever. So, anyway, somebody said the other, you look good with glasses. I said, well, I'm wearing them because it's not a fashion statement. It's, I need glasses. So, probably other things too, which I won't go into, but in any event, this thing over here, how is it over here? I can't get this fucking sticker off my glasses. Okay. So, see, I will cop to that. Most guys will not. They'll leave it on there and they'll say, oh, it's a moniker. Okay. I can't get it off. My fingers are fucked up. So, all right. And I got people asking me as if it's the, topic of the lead on Drudge Report. What's with Howard Stern? I like Howard Stern. It's kind of a yelp every now and then, but makes me laugh. I've always liked him before he hit it big. When he had the show in New York on WNBC or WNBC and all that. So that's all. And yes, folks, I don't have an elaborate set. See, this is where I live. I have a house. This is a room. I'm kind of thrifty in that regard. But look, if you're basing your approval or disapproval on Rich's digs, I fucking flunked the test. Go to, I don't know, some guy in Reno who's doing a show about, poached eggs. And he's got a beautiful background. He's got a nice little kitchen, maybe a helper who is a blonde who has, perky little and is cute, and he gets 170 million hits. So, okay. By the way, speaking of the devil, there's a woman out there in the Bay Area, and I would like to meet you, and I would like for you to kiss my head. I'll do anything you ask. No, I won't. Nicole Danner, who I guess goes around and tries to find the best burrito or the best sandwich, the best cookie, the best Vietnamese food. Uh, she's quite, shall we say, illuminative. I made up a word. And she does this show and she just runs around and, well, you got me, Nicole. I'm quite a fan. I could have you on and your advocacy will go up immeasurably. Okay. Enough of the plug and the half kissing to Nicole, who does, I think her name is Danner. And she could easily be on the Food Network and all that, which I used to love to watch, by the way. And they had all these great shows. And that was when Emerald Lagasse was kind of unique, and the Bam 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 and all that shit. And uh, excuse me, I'm having an itch here. Okay, all right, now we're good. Yeah, Emerald, and he would have on. I mentioned this before. He'd have on great guests, and they would talk food. And he did his recipes, and I loved it when he had on the French chef woman, Julia Child. Or as my friend would say, I'm Julia Child, and we're going to take the chicken and we're going to lemon it, put some fresh garlic, and then we're going to put it in the oven. That's my, I think I do a pretty damn good Julia Child. Anyway, the Food Network, yeah. And now it's just, they had some gimmicky programs on and all that. And I kind of went away from it. But I live in an area where they have all these great restaurants, right? But everything, folks, is, I mean, even the rich are complaining about prices, right? This is a real nice place on Piedmont Avenue in the Rockridge area of the East Bay. It's Oakland. And they got these great little vibey places. The coffee is good, and they have the Olay and the latte, and that just means that's like French or whatever it is for more money. I'm in the kind of remote village of, remember McDonald's coffee, which is like piping hot. You put the cream, if you like cream, and a sweetener in my case, and it's delicious. It used to be like $1.99. I think in some areas it still is, but anyway, again, as I normally do, I rogue. By the way, before I get on with this spiel, on Twitter, X, there were some new people who followed me, many of whom have like multiple thousands. Somebody named Mr. Stone, thank you. Thank you for coming aboard and liking me and spreading the word. And folks, and I'm going to get into this detail when the room fills up. Because I came on at 11 o'clock East Coast time, 8 o'clock. I sound like one of those network announcers. Join us at 7 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Central, and 10 o'clock East Coast time. All right. What the hell was I talking about? Oh, yeah, Stone and X. And a lot of you people, you goddamn people, like my show and are spreading the word. And I ask you to become a subscriber, and which helps me get money so I can pay my bills. And, you know, when it gets chilly, I can turn on the heater and all that, right? So, yeah, become a subscriber. Tell YouTube that you love me. You know, darling, we love Rich. You Rich, you look marvelous and all that. So I reside in the Bay Area, born and raised. My mother, rest in peace, mom. She was from Brooklyn, New York. Anne was her name, with an E on the end. And I have periodically gone to New York, and I love New York. Who doesn't, right? But all this shit and the politics and this, whoever's going to win the mayor. By the way, I stay away from politics. I just, that's why I was like everybody else. I was paying attention to the Kimmel thing and all that, but just stay away from it. I think America is exhausted. Notice I didn't talk about the orange-haired guy. And I think he represents the frustration today and yesterday and beyond of the fact that people are not gung-ho. And you see these people on the Fox and even CNN and MSNBC and whatever else. Lower the volume. I agree. People don't, that's what's wrong. I'm going to go overly philosophical here. We're exhausted. We're tired of this. The screaming and the yelling and the shouting, and nobody gives a fuck about your opinion on this and that. You know what? People want to live cool, have some money to pay the bills. If you have kids, take them to the beach, take them to a movie, and live life, peacefully and happily ever after. That's all we want. We don't need the shouting and the screaming and this and that. Has it been an absolute fucked up? I don't mean to swear, but I do swear. We're adults, right? But the culture is bad, and the screaming and the yelling and all this shit and the violence. All right, I did my little spiel in that regard, but nobody gives a damn about it. Just give us space. We're exhausted. And that's what I loved about Carson, too. He didn't talk overtly about politics. And if he did, he'd make fun of both sides. And these guys today, they think that it's turned into political shows. Okay, enough about that. But yeah, I reside in California, in the Bay Area. And it used to be a lot nicer than it is. San Francisco, you've seen it on, speaking of YouTube, about the degradation of San Francisco. And there's a lot to degrade here. Believe me, I don't live in the city. I live across the bay. And, I remember when they only made fun of Oakland. And now Oakland is a cultural mecca for restaurants And yes, there's crime here, but there's crime in every city. I don't care where you go. Yes, I know there's other areas and cities that have less crime, but you get my point. It's not, look, I always do the proverbial, if you're in New York and you go to the subway and you're looking around and you're acting like you're fearful, then you're going to get fucked with. And that's the way I approach life, right? We should be here from a mental state, not up here. Don't get euphoric because inevitably you're going to escape here or up there and you're going to be down here. And that's not going to be something you enjoy or anything like that. Did I get my water? I got to get water. My voice. I talk quite a bit. It's the best damn thing you can have when you're thirsty. Number one thirst quencher is water, right? And not you know what? The other day I was in 7-Eleven, which is 7 to 11% markup. It's my little joke. And even the water, fucking $4. I know I'm being naive. Everything's high. Water, burritos, tacos, soda, which you shouldn't be drinking anyway. I'm going to tell you. Guy who's addicted to Diet Pepsi and I hate Diet Coke. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. That has got some. Bleh. But there's people that really like it. Bill Gates. Yeah, that Bill Gates loves Diet Coke. He had to do a commercial. So we're here live just about every time I go on early. I get nothing here in the room. And I'm tempted to, well, let's see, is it 8 o'clock yet? Pacific time? No. It's 7. Is it 7:15? No, can't be. 7:50 something. So we'll will it out, and I will sit here and I'll do like gang signals till it's 8 o'clock. No, I won't. Um, but I'm tired. I am so tired. I did a show today on this very YouTube, and I'm asking people to subscribe to my channel, okay? Because eventually, and not eventually, I'm going to get paid. I hope. Google, YouTube. Um, Part of my lineage that I've received here is I look, like I'm a very wealthy Jew, right? But I'm not. I'm not. Everything I pay for, including my sex life, just kidding. Although, you know what? Directly or indirectly, don't we all pretty much pay for our relationships? And even women, right? They fall for a guy or they fall for a woman, whatever, equal opportunity here. Inevitably, you pay. You pay. That's why I like guys. Oh, I never pay. You do. You may pay indirectly, but you pay, you know. And look, boy, did I go off on a tangent here, but what the hell? It's after dark. That's why we're here. Prostitution should be legal. It is a function that not everybody wants to do, but we're adults. And I know the argument if you do prostitution and drugs, it brings about bad, things and omens and all that. But I don't know. The fucking Amsterdam, right? You take a trip to Amsterdam and there's women and some men are standing there in the windows. And I mean, you pay and it's no big deal. They regulate it, they tax it. See, I branch off on everything because one thing leads to another. I'm like that. What was the one, the Gilda Radner character from Saturday Night Live? One thing leads to, or whatever she said. Um, so what was I talking about? Oh, excuse me. I'm talking to myself right now. I was told by Oh, my Peter Brady voice. Sources that I am, excuse me, one of the fastest growing channels here on YouTube. And YouTube, I know you love me because I haven't spouted off on shit about vaccines, which, by the way, I love to get vaccines, right? And I go to this pharmacist at the local Safeway nearby where I live. She's a doll. And she tells me everything. And so, fuck, just for that reason alone, right? No, but I believe in the vaccine. So you don't have to cut me off. Okay. So I love that. I would never talk about controversial things and all that because, you just don't go there. So what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. We're the fastest growing. We collectively, one of the fastest growing shows on YouTube is me. And you guys like the After Dark shows and some of my local material, which I talk about various trends and things. So let me tell you before I get back, I'm going to forget. I had a fucked up day. It started last night. I kind of include the night. My sister, she's, thank God, doing a lot better. I get a call, Richie, I got an ambulance coming. I'm not feeling good. I feel dehydrated every time I drink something, water. I, puke. And she sounded like shit. All right, so they come, they get her. She went to the hospital, and I'm, nervous. She called me 2 hours later, and I feel better. And then I got called today that she has some kind of intestinal infection in her. I mean, it sounds. So they put her on some antibiotics. She's in the hospital still. She stayed there, and so I had that happen to me. And then, see, the phone rings. Everybody sees me doing a show, and the phone rings. Now, I don't get all freaked out. It'll, you know, could be my sister. You know what? I'm going to do something on live. Nah, it stopped ringing. Good. What was I going to say? So I had that happen. And then I met somebody, and I'm not going to get into that because I pledged privacy to this individual. You like how we say that? Didn't even say. I mean, it's a woman, but I want to pledge privacy and all that. And I know a lot of you are hot to trot for me, and I am a hunk or a junk, a Jewish hunk. I just made that up. A junk. Okay, not funny. Larry King, sir, Schenectady, you're not funny. Line 2, Oakland, hello. It's my Larry King. So I got that, and then I had the $25 breakfast, which I talked to you about. I shaved and I cut myself right up here. And I usually go to this place, right? But it's the end of the month, and I get some bills. And, it's all fucked up. So I didn't go to the place that cuts this. It's fuzz, but I don't like it. And they usually give me a nice shave and all that. Why am I talking like this? Hello, I'm such and such. Dr. Lipton from the Actors Studio. God, hated that show. Eventually, he made me laugh, right? I think he died, but he used to talk like this and everything. Remember the interviews that he would do with any actors? De Niro, um, Pacino, Scorsese, Joe Pesci, my favorite. Lipton to Pesci. You were not even cast at first for the Goodfellas, and yet you did it eventually. Marty called you and insisted that you play in the Goodfellas. Why? That's how he asked it. Well, you're kind of irritating me now, James. Well, why do you ask it, Liam? Hey, I'll tell you what. I've seen Pesci lampooned on Saturday Night Live, right? Uh-oh, water alert. I My voice. And if I whisper, it gets worse. I have a lot of respect for people who do this, who do talk shows, who have to talk. And look, you ain't lifting anything and all that, but still, your voice. So yeah, the actor studio and all that. I used to watch that. And what the hell was I talking about? Goodfellas. Um, I gotta tell you something. Since nobody's watching me now, maybe two people, I'm gonna go check out who called. Maybe we'll do some kind of after dark comedy festival here, and I can find out because I don't want it to be somebody. Oh, let's see here. Oh, sorry, folks. This is what you get: live theater. Um, let's see here. Oh, okay. Okay. It's an industry person calling me, knowing full well, I think, that I could possibly be doing my show and talking about everything. So what I was going to discuss also is somebody in here. Oh, wait, who's that? That is good evening, Rich. Well, good evening. Is that fast? Somebody? I don't see it. I see fast. Hi, welcome aboard. Just got on here early, and I'm welcoming you to the super chat. So, I talked about this on CNN today. I had no idea. I found out about this. So here's the deal. Here's the item. Saudi Arabia, they're having this comedy event. I'm not making this up. A festival in Riyadh, which is the capital of Saudi Arabia, right? Okay. So this is Saudi Arabia, right? Where they print money, they have gazillions of dollars. So they wanted to get the cream of the crop. And I'm not talking, local schmokels. I'm talking like a Kevin Hart, who I don't think is funny. And Bill Burr, thank God, I'm going to tell you something. He turned this offer that they made to a lot of these comedians down. Chris Rock turned it down. Bill Burr, did I just say Bill Burr? Turned it down. But Kevin Hart took the offer. Folks, we're talking like millions of dollars. Now, these are guys who've got millions and millions and millions of dollars. Kevin Hart, between his act and endorsements, he's doing commercials. I mean, the guy, you know, it's comedy shows. So they invited all these comics to participate, and they're paying them obscene amount. Dave Chappelle took the offer. And you might be saying, well, Rich, you take it too. No, I wouldn't necessarily. What? So you could buy more sneakers and another house in addition to your already 5 houses? And it really is an obscene amount of money. Now, look, if you're a working comic and you're kind of average, compensation, by all means, take it if they offer it to you. I mean, they didn't pay everybody 5 million like they did somebody like, or they offered Kevin Hart and Dave Chappelle. And I mean, big time names, right? The Riyadh comedy, which boy, that would be a bowl of jello. Now, and they're invading our culture, which no problem. But between athletes and corporate heads and celebrities and movie stars and all that, which there's no really movie stars left. Anyway, they offered all these comics a lot of money. I mean, a big bag, as they put it in comedy jargon, a big bag. And a lot of these guys, to their credit, they turned it down. Some, then they offered them even more. And it was a big deal today on CNN. It's you could Google it out and you'll get the whole story. And I'm saying to myself, and I know they did this with all the sports people, especially the golfers, right? And some of these guys, they have no, whatever. But comedians, and you can't talk about Saudi Arabia. You can't satirize and all that, which, look, that's the thing. What are they going to do? Now, mind you, this is the country that throws people off roofs, gay people. I'm a heterosexual, but I happen to be a Jew, and all that. And you know, they've had issues with Americans. Do you remember the journalist, the guy that wrote for the Washington Post, of Iranian background, right? And they kidnapped him and they basically probably killed him. No, they did. And yet we have a significant strategic relationship with these guys. And, I shake my head. I'm a little naive, but some of you want to chime in. Go ahead. You know, maybe I'm naive. I don't know. But what in the hell? I mean, like I said, Kevin Hart, probably worth somewhere around $200 million. That's a lot of money. What are you going to do with an extra? I mean, easy for me to say. I just find it repugnant. And he's gone over and took the money. Same thing with Dave Chappelle. And it is an obscene amount of money. And that's the kind of thing, the kind of move that Chappelle, of all people, would probably lampoon or make fun of. I just, he probably is the animal. Fuck. I could have turned that down, kind of shit. Well, same thing with Kevin Hart. It's a big to do, and I don't know. I can't figure that out. I mean, I can, but I can't stand it. I gotta get water. My voice is just fucking. So maybe I went and I announced the time. Although every time I do this, it's a late arriving club, right? And there's no 2 drink minimum here, folks. You get in and you could sit down, have a cocktail in your own house, of course. Wouldn't that be something? I'm going to get you a vodka vermouth over. I think vermouth is vodka, right? No, it isn't. I gave up drinking, not because I was having. I had a problem many years ago, but nowadays it's just the thought of having. And I'm not here to lecture you about alcohol and all that. I'm not. To each his own. But I said, what the shit was that? Why was I drinking that? I don't know anybody. Well, maybe once in a blue moon. I don't do this. But my thought process at the time was, God, a martini sounds good right now with a nice olive. And you can use it, you have it like an aperitif before your dinner. Maybe you're out at a lunch. You used to have this so-called the 3 martini lunch and all that. So, but after that, it like there's just people who want to get drunk. Maybe they're, I don't know, issues in their own life and all that. So, folks, I don't want to talk to myself. Who is that down there? Maybe I'll talk to you. Is that fast? Somebody? You're enjoying this, I know. And I'm going to sip more water here. Good evening. How are you? I'm Dr. Wendell Locke. Tonight, while I was touching myself, I began to think of documents that I have read that I took out from. I'm making this up, so please, nobody get all freaked out. I was touching myself, and tonight I was searching for documents that had to do with the Kennedy assassination. Not Bobby, but John Jack. A little ditty by Jack. And I found myself more invigorated and lovely, and I just kept talking like this. Um, See, I can do shit like that. I'm not nervous. I'm not pissed. The other night I said I'm not going to go up. What last night, Monday, up against football. There were 2 NFL games, and I didn't want to compete. Right? I just figured most people who, and I know everybody's looking on YouTube these days, but I didn't want to go up against the NFL, right? So I said, I'm not going to go. Tonight, I'm going to be here. Now, I'm having a dilemma, so help me out here. I'm not a religious person, right? I'm Jewish. Most Jews who are not religious, they still take the time to observe, not celebrate, that's a moronic term, to observe Yom Kippur. And Yom Kippur starts tomorrow night, Wednesday, at sundown. And then all day Thursday is Yom Kippur, the big day. And that's when you don't eat. It's and then it's a very serious day, the Day of Atonement. So I wasn't going to do a show tomorrow, late tomorrow. So which dictated me going on tonight, Tuesday. And well, I'm not doing a show, I don't think, unless something, you know, and even then, big happens. Thursday is Yom Kippur. And you know, it's I'm reform. Like I was bar mitzvahed, and but outside of that, we eat a lot. Jews do. We eat. We're like, Italians. That's the only people that really care for us. Half kidding. Are Italians, right? Uh, anyway, Yom Kippur starts tomorrow night, and and then Thursday is the big, Day of Atonement, and they do the what do you call it? The thing. Takia. I can't believe I'm doing that. So I think that's a sin. They blow the shofar, right? No, I'm not talking about a night in LA on Sunset Boulevard after 3 in the morning. Haha. That's a sin too. Taki, they do the thing with the chauffeur and all that. So, and I feel positively dirty right now. Like, how could I do that? So the reason why I bring up Yom Kippur is this is a living now, folks. So this being YouTube and telling people that you like my show, or even if you hate it, considering that I'm able to talk about anything, right? And I add a little bit of comedy and humor, I hope, to everything I pretty much bring up. And look, some of it is quite funny, some of it you're sort of indifferent about it all, right? But I always say, what did it cost you to get in? I waived your fee. I got you in through the door. Comped you, as people in the industry say. So, okay. Is that Fast? Oh, Fast Eddie or whatever. Hey, Fast, I'm getting the urge now to temporarily call it, maybe put a pause and then come back, because maybe some people will show up. So I'm going to take a pause, right? And I'll be back. I need water. I need water, and we'll see if the planets align and people start coming in here like they did in droves the other night. And we'll continue oh, now it's starting to get crowded. See, every time I do that, I threaten to leave, people start um, calling, or they start coming in. Who's this? Somebody just showed up. Fast. We've got Law. What is that? Oh, Lev Bronstein. Let me guess, you're Irish. Just kidding. Lev, I was just talking about Yom Kippur and how it's, and being that, Jews are funny because throughout the year, right, we can go to our temples and all that. And for the Rosh Hashanah, the New Year, and Yom Kippur, especially, temples charge, right? And therefore you could be a member or what have you, but you got to pay to get in the shul to celebrate that. And it's not like, they pass a bowl around. You pay. And, you know, I even wrote one time to Larry David, and I had a hysterical idea for an episode. And, you know, I think he stole the idea, but they didn't use it. But my idea was that, Larry is driving to meet his family at the Beverly Hills Seder, or not Seder, synagogue. And he already bought his tickets, right? And he forgot his tickets This is funny. So he recognizes the fact that he forgot his show tickets that he paid probably like 500. It's expensive for Larry David. That's like 5 cents. So he forgets it, and shit, I left them at home. So he's outside the temple, right? So I'm laughing. It's my idea. So he encounters in front of the temple. If you're going to like a baseball game or a football game or a concert, hey man, usually these inner city kids, right? I got two right in front of the stage with $500. Well, folks, the high holy days, particularly on Yom Kippur, usually is a sellout. So my idea was you have inner city kids who somehow got tickets to the services outside the temple, and they're scalping Jewish New Year tickets. And they encounter Larry David, right? Curb Your Enthusiasm. This is my idea. Hey man, what's going on? Well, I left my tickets at the house. What's your story? This is trying to do my Larry David. Well, man, I got two tickets right in front of the rabbi. For you, man, $250. And Larry's scalping tickets, Jewish New Year's, Yom Kippur, no less. That was my idea. So I'm going into the chat. Bronstein, what do you think? Oh God, I think it's hysterical. Lev Bronstein, okay. We got the guy, and somebody's calling me. They know that I'm on the air. So fuck you. Could be my sister. Could be an excuse that I have now to go and pick up the phone, but it's all right. See, I'm not freaked out. I'm not phased by that, although my voice is going. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, the Larry David idea for Curb, scalping tickets in front of the Jewish temple. And look, I think it would be hysterical. I know the show doesn't run now, so I think he gave up the show, right? Yeah. I mean, he's worth $8 gazillion, and it's a lot of work. And he's into politics now, and he's got all the So, but it would be a funny scene in anywhere. So, Lev, anybody? Oh, we got more people now coming in here. Lev, let's see. Let's read here. They're happy you're not begging anymore. Hey, Lev, fuck you, okay? Fuck you, asshole. You know what, Lev? When you go to Bill O'Reilly's show, go on his website, asshole. Bill O'Reilly is worth upwards of $400 million. Does he beg, Lev, when he asking people to donate to his defense fund like Michael Savage, a guy who's worth $1 billion? His son sold that fucking fucked up uh, what's that shit? The airplane manure shit. The Mountain Dew kind of Rockstar. Thank you. So really, fuck off and get out of my sight. If you want to come in here, you want to fuck with me because I beg. I'm trying to make a living, you fucker. So fuck you. Nobody forced you, Lev. Mountain Pop. It's Mountain Poo. Yeah, whatever. Now he's trying to be funny. I hate fucking people. I got the fucking gall. The chutzpah, Lev. I'm sure it's your real name. To come into my fucking little zone here, my vibe, and to give me shit because I was begging. No, asshole. I go on and I tell people to donate so I could continue. Not now. I've been doing it for a while because I've had support and people who paid in some respects or gave me niceness and didn't lampoon me and satirize me, and who did, yes, Vlad, asshole, they did donate and they contributed. You're in here, fucker. Yeah, what is it? I'm I've donated myself. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. And if you did, I don't give a fuck. Great. Then don't come in here and fuck with me, Lev. I work my ass off to show up and to give a show and to perform. And when I wrote the blog, as opposed to broadcasting on my 415 blog, I asked for donations that befit the contributor, whether it was $5, $25, whatever, 18 million in the case of Musk, who watches me regularly. So don't try to make me and fuck with me, dude. I hate that word, but I use it. And laugh all the fuck you want. And if you're gonna come in here and you're gonna justify, well, I gave money. Well, good. Fuck, great. When you go out, like I said, I mentioned Savage and O'Reilly, Sean Hannity. These are fucking multi-gazillionaires. And go to their websites. Do it right now. Submit money to Michael Savage Defense Fund. Contribute to the Bill O'Reilly Fund so I can send you a fucking $2 coffee mug. You know what they do with the money? And they get obscene amounts of money, folks. They pay off various people. They don't donate a fucking dime. A lot of them don't. And they're all worth multiples of like mega millions. I am trying to make a living. I am trying to be entertaining, informative, etc. So don't come in here. Yeah, you love my written blog. Well, look, past tense. I don't write anymore. It took a lot of work. My eyes are fucked up, so I wear glasses now. So if you don't like it, Lev, don't come in here. I don't fuck with you when you're on your job. At least I don't think so. And yes, folks, I'm a little irritated. I get pissed off because when I get a little eensy beensy bit of support and YouTube telling me that I qualify now to get paid, not a lot. And when I have a super chat and people are throwing me $5 or $20 or 19,500,000, I just hate people that want to bust my balls. Speaking of Joe Pesci or De Niro, they have the audacity, and they're going to try to be funny. Oh well, I gave, and you know, um, look, don't come in here. I don't. If you gave me money prior, that doesn't give you the license to come in here and fuck with me. How's that? Okay. See, unlike others, I'm gonna call you out. Yeah, I understand. Well, then apologize. Then Frank Somerville looked like something. Looked like I saw him. Good, wonderful, wonderful. I'm gonna bring up Frank Somerville. As a local broadcaster who's, I even said last week I'm not going to talk about him anymore. But look, I want two things, Lev. Now I know who you are. I want either an apology and or not or I and go to the site. You know what? If you've talked before, if you've donated, then you owe me that. Otherwise, I don't want to talk to you, and I'm going to forget about it. Now we have somebody else here. Rich, you are a great teacher of Bay Area radio, TV history. As an older, what is this? As an older millennial, okay. I feel like I have learned a lot from you. Well, you have. You have. See, and I do this show. This is the After Dark, so it's a little bit more tailored to humor and conversation and just shit. Because look, you know what, folks? I am super, super neurotic on certain things, right? Women, sexual fantasies, women, sometimes media. You know what I'm confident about? I'm confident of my ability to make a lot of you laugh, right? And I don't make any bones about the fact that the media today has become so marginalized and insignificant. And as I said earlier, the consumers, regular people they're tired and exhausted, kind of like me right now. And we don't need screaming and shouting and to talk shit and to do artificial wow shock shit to get people to donate and act like a fool like a lot of these people do these days. God bless them. I guess somebody sitting on the toilet talking about their bowel movement got a million hits. Wonderful. What am I going to do? I'm not going to do that. I couldn't do it anyway. What was I talking? Oh yeah. So I'm just here, folks. I'm a moleculic molecule, a sliver, just trying to survive and add some depth, add a little levity to all, and I do mean all the shit that we're dealing with today. And Lev, you may think it's funny, you may think you get a little hard on either way to come in here and belittle me and say that I'm begging, which was a long time ago anyway, and I have no fucking apologies whatsoever, considering that a lot of people that beg are billionaires, like Savage, like O'Reilly, like Hannity. So go after them, belittle them. I am trying to be a funny guy. I am trying to observe, give my 2 cents about media, whether it's local, national, international, say for the umpteenth time how fucking overrated and exposed CNN has become, how Fox News is what it is, MSNBC, predictable, Rachel Maddow, overrated to the extreme. Don't give me shit about me. Oh, she's a woman, you're getting on Rachel. No, I'm not. And I don't give a shit she's a woman. She's on there. She makes a lot of money. I think she's overrated. She's talented. She's got a fan base. What's not to like? I think she's just predictable with the fucking pen and going to interview the worst ever Democratic candidate in the history of politics, Kamala Harris, who is my book is Kamala McGovern. Fucking idiotic Democrats put it away. And I'm not going to go into politics. So, but she's interviewing. But Harris writes this book and the View and every fucking thing today. Nobody cares about politics anymore. I said earlier to some of the newbies coming into the super chat, people are fed up. We're tired. There's a whole class of uh, a group of people who just frankly don't give a shit. They want to live their lives. They want to put food on the table. Get lucky. Take their family on a trip to wherever. Have some money left over so they could buy coffee from Starbucks that are not closing down, or a fucking macaroni and cheese dinner at a very famous macaroni and cheese place. They don't give a shit about who's yelling and screaming, and it's both sides, folks. I'm not here to rally for Democrats or Republicans. They all fucking suck. They're all loud and obnoxious. And this whole government shutdown thing, what a bunch of big blowhards. And by the way, the government's not going to shut down. Okay. You're going to get your Social Security check. You're going to get your disability checks and all that. The military ain't shutting down. Right. We're attacked, God forbid. It ain't shutting down. So you can't go to a park. Okay. And I'm not saying again, this side right, this side bad, wrong. I don't like talking politics, and that's one of the themes I have here. I talk about my love life. I talk about the fact that I have an opinion or two or three. I try to give out commentary with regards to our current media. And the fact of the matter is how fucking marginalized we've all become in our media. And I see some of these actors, these players on whether it's the internet. Would somebody tell me? I have utmost respect for this guy. what the fuck? Where did this Joe Rogan come from? I mean, if I was walking down the street where I live in the Bay Area, I think I would be more famous than Joe Rogan. Now, having said all that, God bless him. I know he was some wrestler or something like that. I don't know. I never guy makes 100 million a year or whatever. But women think I'm funny. Men kind of, give me shit like Bronstein. And I think what is unique about me, and I'm not egotistical, I'm saying this seriously now, is the fact that I don't brag about shit that it doesn't possess me. You know, I'm real. I don't look like fucking George Clooney. I don't have Brad Pitt austerity. I don't go out and date various starlets, which even if I got it and I fuck it up somehow, because that's the story of my life. I basically, at this stage of my life, I fuck up a wet dream, right? Um, so I think a lot of women, especially, not so much men, story of my life, but that's right. Women understand where I'm coming from because, see, women, and do I have, now I'm getting psychology. Okay. No, I'm not talking psychology. I'm talking real shit, basic common sense shit. No expert, but I'm here. The room is filled up. Super chat. And by the way, as long as I got a full house now, I was about to go and, you know, uh, yes, throw me a bone. Dollars, $50, $5, $2, $3.99. That's how I make a living. What did it cost you guys to get in here, right? I covered your tips. I even paid for your drinks and spiritually. But I think I'm funny and I'm not trying to be funny. That's when you know you're funny, not when you write jokes. People can write jokes. Professional comedians write jokes. They deliver it. They get a punchline, and they get a laugh or they don't. And this day and age, and by the way, on Reddit, which I don't know, I guess it's a conspiracy thought. People mention to me that I'm on Reddit and that I refer to women as boobs, or I don't know what the fuck it is. You know what? Let me dispel all that. Let me set the record straight. I love women. Without women, I wouldn't be here today. It's true. You know, I love women. I like gynecologists. I heard there's many openings there. No, but seriously, I love women. I I love women. I love women authors. I had a crush on Condoleezza Rice. I once drove I made love to Valerie Bertinelli. No relation to the celebrity Valerie Bertinelli. Look, I have gone to women's prisons and spoke on behalf of men who reach the apex in their frustration in life of not being able to have a consensual relationship with women who are not in prisons. And I got frustrated, folks. So one night I drove out to my local prison and it's where Patty Hearst stayed, out in the Dublin Correctional Facility. And I said basically, look, sisters, my name is Rich Lieberman, and I have had a very tough time. Oh, thank you. Somebody, $2. Boy, aren't you? No, thank you. Who is that? $2. Good. That'll buy me a cup of coffee at 7-Eleven. Anyway, back to women's prisons. But thank you anyway. It's the thought that counts, right? 20,000 of you times one night. Now that would be something. So I go to prisons, right? And I speak to these women, and many of them are Jewish. No, they're not. I'm kidding. But many of them, they're looking for a love. They're looking for camaraderie, and there's me, and of course they reject me anyway. I've been rejected more times than the three little pigs, right? Um, it's true. It's true. But guys, here's the deal. I'm open about it. That's why I think the women that do have a project, interest in me. And I love that shit. That famous "When Harry Met Sally" line. Well, we could be friends. Fuck you. You might as well tell me that you don't want to have anything to do with me. I don't need friends. I'm in a stage in my life. I have friends. I don't like pen pals. All you're telling me, men, you know this, right? I don't want to have sex with you. And the women are like, oh, come on. That's how you start. And when Harry Met Sally, that was a movie, right? And you know he was going to get laid, right? He did. It was a funny movie. By the way, I'm the only heterosexual man who watched that movie, and many times. I'm a big Rob Reiner guy, and and all that. So back to what I was saying. People are laughing, but it's true. It's true. So yes, I'm confident that I can be funny. I give a little levity to the world in which we live in today. I'm not an advocate. I'm not telling you should be a Trumper or a Biden guy or Kamala Harris. I don't really talk about politics, right? Because spare me. That's what we all have told these fuckers. Spare us. Give us money. Let us live. Quit the fucking violence and all these fucked up things that are happening in our world today that didn't happen 10 years ago. 20, well, they did 20 years ago. We want to buy our kids crayons, take them on a trip to Tahoe or wherever, Crater Lake, Saratoga back east to the racetrack. We want to eat a good plate of pasta. We want to take our hookers when our wives or husbands are not looking. Look, there's female hookers or male hookers, female hookers. But we want to have a life. We don't give a fuck, most of us, about Dem, Repub, Independent, screaming at these fuckers are yelling it. Go to work. Do your fucking job. People are complaining. Make our lives whole. And I don't mean where we depend on you. We are survivors. We're independent. But back to me, because I know that's why you came here. In all seriousness, I gave up on women pretty much when they gave up on me. And I don't mean that literally, but people have asked me, are you gay? You haven't been married, are you the Pope? I'm a heterosexual and I love women, as I have said. You need two to tango, right? And I don't believe in, dolls. I tried that. Wait, was that a disaster? I'm kidding. I thought about it. There's some fucking guys out there who get these dolls. And for the life of me, whatever. Whatever. And these are millionaires, right? No, but I'm a very, look, got a house. I'm liquid asset wise. I'm all right. I don't have much cash in my wallet, right? Like right now. So to go back, and I know a lot of you are laughing again. Good. And throw me some money. Yeah. Show me the money. Lev Bronstein, who's going to ridicule me and try to, belittle me because he put it big. No, I don't anymore. But yes, at a time not that long ago, I had to pay my, expenses and things. And this is expensive shit. And I don't have an elaborate backdrop. I got my TV, I've got my computer, I've got my camera, I've got my golden retriever. No, I don't have dogs. Wonderful. People are, I'm not anti-dog or cat. I'll get lapel for that shit too. It's just too much of a responsibility. Back to women. I love women. And I think a lot of the women who, seriously, including prison women, have contacted me and told me that they thought I was funny and that I projected a certain amount of level-headedness and that I was not bravado and acting, oh, I'm going to get my Corvette and take a trip down to LA or go to the Playboy Mansion, which, I don't do that. And I'm not scolding guys who have access to the Playboy. I don't even think it's around. Is it around anymore? Does anybody know? Somebody gave me another $2. Let me see here. Bronstein. Anthony Markovich. Sounds like a stage name. Tonight's episode, Dark Vineyard, starring Anthony Markovich, Lev Bronstein, and Peter Little. Tonight's episode, Crooked Street. Remember that? Anybody know that? What I just mimicked? Any of you remember The Streets of San Francisco? A Quinn Martin production. Remember that? Okay. Who's in here right now? Okay. So we got Bronstein, Anthony Markovich. We have any women? No. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to be unique and do something here and provide a little levity. You don't have to think I'm funny. I assume a lot of people come in here, they're gonna complain and bitch and moan, kind of like my sex life. Complain, bitch, and moan. And that's me. Um, I'm just me. And I think that's one of the reasons why the YouTube subscriber list is going way up. Not that I have to be defined as a success because my YouTube membership subscriber list is going way up, but it is. And, I'm not putting on an act, folks. This is realness. This is individual Rich Lieberman, who, why are you doing? You must have an ego. We all have an ego. Some of us have bigger egos than others. I do this because it's therapy for me. Of course it is. Well, no, it's therapy for you. It's that. I'm Larry King. We go to Schenectady. What's your question? Yeah, Larry, I'm seeing a psychic and she told me that it's therapy, right? Do you agree? Sir, are you alone right now? What are you doing? I thought so. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Hello, Larry King, live. Hey, Larry, do you think the Giants will win the pennant next year? And what do you think about the Jews owning the media? Sir, go to bed, get some sex, and call me when you're an adult. Downey, California, what's your question? Larry King. Open phone, America. You're live. Larry King. All right, enough of my Larry King. I miss Larry. Larry has been dead since February of what, 20, is it 22? Right around when Rush Limbaugh expired. And he's still on overnight cable. And he's doing hemorrhoid commercials and he's doing true story. Or as Larry would say, folks, they pay me. What am I supposed to do? I've been dead for 2.5 years. I don't know. And he's doing these, the fish oil. Somebody back me up on this. This is therapy for it's Bronstein. Rich, I want to take you to dinner. Oh, Bronstein. Then why were you fucking with me earlier, Lev? And I didn't insult you. I said I used your fuck you kind of a thing, but that's we're adults. And that's kind of you. I'd rather have the money, Lev. Okay? I'm being truthful. But maybe we'll go to dinner. Maybe I don't know. I don't get out much on to dinner anymore. Between the stalkers and the authorities, and by the way, yeah, I know I touch my glasses quite a bit because I'm still trying to get a good fit. Like, these are number fours, and I can see better and all that, but I know it's very annoying, and I apologize to a lot of you. Who? Why do you keep touching your glasses? So I don't know. It's like what Carville said about somebody was very annoyed with him. I do James Would any of you like to hear my James Carville? I think most of you have heard. Okay. Do you? Here's a Bronstein again. Do you have hemorrhoids? Let me check. No, not as of this moment. Lev, I'll be the comedian. Okay, you're not fun. So Larry King might say, not funny. Schenectady, hello. No. Speaking of, all right, James Carville complaining about having hemorrhoids. Okay, James Carville. Well, folks, when I worked with Bill Clinton, the president, he wasn't a pussy. And he used to tell me, we got to win Vermont, we got to win Texas and that shit like that. And I told him, we're going to win. Oh my God, what the fuck? Oh shit. Bill, Will, I think I got some hemorrhoids. Oh, fuck. This is wrong. This is fucked up. I'm a Democrat and I'm going to be your voice. And we're going to the fuck. What the fuck is my ass doing? This is fucking war. We gotta stop being pussies. The Democrats don't know how to fucking win an election. That's why Trump got balls, because he knows what the fuck he's doing. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Okay. So I do impressions. I do, and I can actually do. Okay, we got a. Somebody just asked me, can you do Columbo? All right. So here's my Columbo. Okay. So remember, get your wallet out. This is very expensive. My voice is like tortured. Okay. Folks, I know I don't want to get in the way, but excuse me, am I bothering you? Because if I'm bothering you, I can leave, I can come back. My name is Inspector Columbo. And if I'm bothering you, I promise you I will depart. Because if I'm bothering you, okay, I'm going to do this stupid line that got a lot of laughs. It's so stupid, but quick impression. I've done this before. Quick impression. This is a visual, folks, so pay attention. Quick impression of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in 3, 2, 1. Fuck you, that's funny. People laughing. That's funny. You get it? Of course you got it. What if Scarface was a stand-up comic? What would it sound like? I'm Tony Montana. My wife, when she struts around the house, she struts around the house. Fuck you, that's funny. Fuck you. Fuck you. That's fucking funny. Fuck you. I'm Tony Montana. Fuck you. See, I'm quick too, folks, right? Another thing with women, that they constantly tell me that, Rich, if you were that way in bed, we would consider you. Then, ultimately we would reject you. But let's go here. I better go to the super chat, because that's where the money is, right? Now, I just gave you guys some jokes, impressions. Let's see. I caught the what is it? Who's this? Oh, Bronstein again. Anthony, Mark, Rich, don't be an ass. Oh, fuck you. Yeah, don't be an ass. And I say that lovingly, Anthony. Bronstein. Let's see. Let's see. My friends, this is Bronstein again. My friends sent you. We're begging. I don't know what the fuck you're saying. It's the economy, stupid. I don't get that. Rich, do an Indian impression. I don't really do Indian impressions, but I'll try. I assume you want something like, my name is Tumba. I sell cars at the Cadillac dealership here in lovely Sacramento, California, USA. I arrived from India, and I tell people, buy a car or don't buy a car. You want to pay invoice? I want to pay invoice. We both have much. If you buy a car from me, I will get you some good love. Okay, how's that off the top of my head? Rich, can you do? All right, thank you. Thank you very much. And folks, in all seriousness, no. So I'm just here trying to survive, and I'm damn funny. And look, all the jokes, sometimes, of course, they don't work. But, look, I just signed a contract, and I'm going to go on the road and perform at the Coliseum. No. Hey, if I had to, those of you out there who have friends in the business, look, I do weddings, bar mitzvahs, funerals, cocktail shows. If you're women that are, you want to have like a little party with your girlfriends and that kind of a thing, I could do anything. I really can, except um, but I also sing. I could do. Who was the guy that did Forever and Ever and oh, what was his name? Rick Astley. So I do that. I could do Frank Sinatra. Fly me to the moon. Let me say a super sigh. Fill my heart. So I do that. I do. Luck be a lady. So I do that. I could sing a little song, a little dance, a little seltzer down your pants. All right, quickly. Where did I steal that line from? All right. I'll get you a seltzer water on me if you can name where I got that. Somebody's laughing. Good, wonderful, Rich. No, that's so I met this woman, right? And she was used to be a man. And look, I have nothing against trans. In fact, I used to fly Trans World Airways. No, I met this woman and she's incredible. I'm not going to name or even go near there. But, and the problem with doing shit like this is when you actually meet somebody and you enter real life, right? And you're not performing, because people think, all these comedians, they do their act. It's an act. There was only one Richard Lewis. Remember Richard Lewis? People have compared me. Believe me, I'm humble to Richard Lewis, the late great Richard Lewis, who basically was in therapy, and he remember he brought out used to call them the Dead Sea Scrolls because that's what he referred to, and he was quite funny. Not everybody's taste, but that's a rarity, and I'm your brother. Don't smoke. If you smoke, you could be like me, a dead Yul Brenner. Um, Late night television was something special years and years ago, and I was a big Johnny Carson fan. Of course, you, sir, were. Oh, yes, oh, great master, you were. You are correct, sir. Um, that was wild. That was some wild stuff. I was unaware that Ed was, positively drunko, which I thought he was. But what he just said, I did not know that. That is some wild stuff. All right, it's my lame brain. It's not the best Carson impression, right? Who the fuck does Carson other than Dana Carvey, right? So what do we got here, Rich? LOL. What do you got? Okay, it's stagnant now in the room. So, what time is it? I'm looking at my time clock. 8:46 on the west coast of the Pacific time zone. So I'm tired. I don't have water. Water. I am woman. Water though. You call me. Who did that? Could somebody name that? Got this itch up here. Oh God. That was done by the lovely Helen Reddy. Remember her? Was she ready or not? Ready or not? Here I come. Oh, we have a new Kojin. Let's see. Somebody Kennedy. I don't see. Beyonce Kennedy. What happened to Reggie Aki? Is it Aki or Aki? He was fucked up and shitty, and they finally got rid of him. Basically, this is Anchor in San Francisco. Who was the shits? And they finally, I think his last day was today. Thank God. That's basically what happened. You know, somebody's going to hire this guy because he's a check all the boxes hire, if you know what I mean. And I've said this a million times. Seriously now, I don't give a fuck if you're gay, you're straight, woman, man, black, white, yellow, purple, brown, red. If you suck, you suck. If you're good, you're good. If you're 23 and you blend in, are utterly fantastic, great. If you're, 82 and you suck, well, that's a rarity. You know what I mean? Uh, so I hope I answered your question. Who is that? Royce Kennedy. Kennedy. Speaking of Royce, for you only. When I was in Massachusetts, when I was alive, I picked up Mary Jo. We had a little schnapps and a bowl of clam chowder, and I took her over the river. Well, I tried to. Yippee-ki-yo-ki-yay. It didn't work out, but you know what? I ran for president. Unfortunately, okay, that's my kid, my Kennedy. Um, tell you what if you have a chance, and look it up, the Kennedy family is still. You wonder how you talk about. I mean, they're unique. They really are, and there's so many of them. You tragedy. Talk about finding, and you know what? You can have all the money in the world, and the houses and mansions, and be good looking like John, yeah. But what the fuck was he going on an airplane in the middle of fog with his girlfriend? They shot. You're a fucking Kennedy. Stay off. Fly commercial for a change, John. But anyway, yeah. What you talk about? Just tragedy after tragedy, and I always give him a break. About that family suffered so much. And look, I'm not going to get into the Chappaquiddick and all this stuff. I condone that. I'm not giving him. It probably cost him the presidency. You know, so I'm not giving him a pause. And those of you who don't know what the fuck about Chappaquiddick, look it up. And hey, that was tragic too, especially for the woman that died. So don't get me wrong there. What do we got here? All right, so unless you guys bring on some women or more people, my voice is about to crater if it hasn't already. And once again, I do these shows. I don't have any notes. Sometimes it shows. I touch my glasses way too many times. And yes, I do ask for donations. If you're here, great. If you can't afford it, that's fine. I'm a working stiff who tries to entertain and inform, and I appreciate your support. Those of you that laugh, think I'm funny, I'm a very civilized person. Those of you who don't think I'm funny, okay. Critical analysis, as long as it's, phone number, if you want to text me, 415-999-4454. Monitored by local authorities. So don't call me up and text me with shit, because we know where you're at. I'm that guy from Dateline, Keith Morrison. Dateline, we know where you're at. It's my Keith Morrison impression. Okay. What happened? Let's see. Thank you for answering. Oh, is that Roy? Is that a woman or a guy? Royce? Oh, Royce Kennedy. It's got to be a guy, I would think. So anyway, you want to email me, rich.lieberman, Lieberman @gmail.com. 415-999-4454. If you're a very, very, very frustrated person, especially women who maybe left their husbands left them, and you would like to talk to me about going on a trip to, I don't know, El Cerrito for our honeymoon. If, you want to donate, you're in the YouTube chat, throw me a bone. Some of you already have. Bronstein, thank you. Woody Allen, thank you very much. It was very didactic of you to do that. But I'm here all the time. And if you become a subscriber, then you'll know when I'm going on. I'm also on X at YouTube. At YouTube. I'm here at YouTube. I'm on X at Rich 415 Media. And no, really, tell your friends and all that. I'm going to take tomorrow night off because it's Yom Kippur, Cold Nidre. And then Thursday, I'll be back probably Thursday afternoon, evening. And of course, we'll do a real show on Friday and Saturday, or maybe just Saturday. I don't know yet. I'll see how I feel. So, with that said, I'm going to wish you a fond adieu. Thank you